Hey folks, it's John with KGTropicals.com here for episode 5 of KG Q&A. I'm having a lot of fun with this series. If you want to ask questions on this series and have them answered on this series, send your email to kgqa@gmail.com and your question's probably going to get asked because I haven't skipped one yet. So go through these, I read them, I answer them without any kind of editing or anything like that. At least that's how I've done the last 3. So let's get right into it because I'm having fun. It's Friday night. We just got done putting our whole new shipment in. I took a video of that. That's uploading right now. It's been a busy day. So winding things down and answering some of your questions. So Brian Tisdale asks, I saw your video with your friend on angelfish and I was wondering if you could help me or suggest someone for me. I have 2 marble angels that have spawned together a few times, and I also have 1 female ghost angel that has laid eggs twice, and the male marble has 8 them. Will the male ever spawn with the ghost? Probably not. Angels are not like African cichlids. The male doesn't typically serve multiple females. They pick one, they pair off, and that's kind of, that's how they do things. It's, one-on-one. He doesn't go back and forth, so I would say probably not. Now, if you took your marble female out and left that fish with the ghost angel, which I've actually never heard of a ghost angel, but a lot of people call these fish by different names, then maybe it will, but you can't really force this kind of thing to happen. It's got to happen naturally, or you can get lucky and they can pair off. But I would say in the configuration that you have right now, you're probably not going to have that male spawn with your ghost female. Sorry to disappoint you, but I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. All right. Hello, John. My name is Luis Diaz, and I'm writing you from Portugal from the Azores Islands. How cool is that? I am a big fan. Thanks for all your posts. So what do you think about mixing Mbunas with Haps / Alanacaras in the same tank? Some friends of mine say that's not good. The main reason is the food. As you know, Mbunas are vegetarians, and almost all Haps Alanacaras are not. What do you think about this? Well, I think I addressed it a couple of videos ago. So I'm not trying to be rude to you, but this is why, maybe I should read these first, but I did address this. I think it was episode 2 of KG Q&A. But I'll go ahead and answer you real quick. I don't do anything special. I do mix them. I've done that ever since I've had Africans, and I have not had a problem. Some of your hardcore Mbuna people will swear to you that you cannot mix them because of diet. And I just don't find that to be true. In my experience, Mbunas, Peacocks, and Haps, they mix together fine. The foods that are out there now, the manufactured foods, are made for all of them. So, but like I said in the other video, I do, on occasion, a few times a week, I'll put in some spirulina flakes into the 240 where I have our Mbunas, and they tend to like that. It's kind of like a dessert, but with the fish in the tanks in here, we feed them extreme, which is the exact same food that we feed to the Peacocks and Haps, and they do really good on that, and that's what they're raised on. So they do good, and you can mix them, you can feed them all the same food, and they will do fine. Peter Lecotier, I hope I'm saying your name right, dude. I see you all over the place. Hi, John. A quick email. Perhaps you could do a video on albino peacocks and haps. Why do they get picked on a lot more, and why do they appear weaker in some cases? Thanks. I've been having a few discussions on Instagram and on my YouTube account. Thank you, Peter. That's one that I'm going to have a difficult time answering. I can tell you what I think, but I don't have any, scientific facts to back up what I'm saying here. But I feel pretty confident in my answer on this. Maybe if I had a little bit of time to prepare, I would have come up with something better. But from what I've learned, albinism is something that definitely affects eyesight, whether it be in human beings or animals. And I have seen things in albino fish that makes me think that they do not have as good an eyesight as some of your other fish. So I think that probably has a lot to do with it. they become a target and they can't see it coming. I mean, they can see it, they're not blind, but they don't see as well as fish that are not albinos. I don't know this is fact, but this is what I've been told, that human beings that are albinos, a lot of them, if not all, I don't know, are legally blind. I know albinism affects eyesight. I mean, I've read that in a lot of different areas. So that's probably one of the main reasons. The other would be they're so bright and they're light, and their colors stand out from a mile away. It probably makes them an easy target because they're so bright colored. That combined with the lack of eyesight, I think, is probably something that can cause that. But I will say this, Peter, I have not experienced that. It might be that you got unlucky a couple of times, I don't know. But with the albinos, I'm a sucker for albinos. I don't even know why, I just like them a lot. I haven't experienced that. I haven't experienced albinos getting picked on more than any other fish. Maybe you just got unlucky, I don't know. But I haven't seen that. So let's move on. We're getting 4 today. Let's see, 6.5 minutes. Man, I'm doing good on this one. William Taylor, what is the best water parameter to keep your cichlids like KH and pH and hard and soft water? Crazy Cooter is the name. I'm going to be honest with you about something, and there's going to be a lot of people that are probably going to think that this is a disgrace, but ever since I've been keeping fish, and with pretty much anything I do in life, I like to keep things as simple as possible. I don't know how I lost all my hair. I mean, I try to keep things as easy as possible and as streamlined as possible, and I try to avoid unnecessary confusion. I have never tested for KH and GH. I've always used pH as my reference. That's just how I've always done it. Back 20 years ago, I don't know that really anybody was testing for KH and GH. I've never in my life put a test kit in the water to test for KH or GH. Make fun of me, pick on me, tell me I'm stupid, whatever, but I've never done that. I've always gone by pH, and I've done fine. So I'm not going to be able to tell you what the KH and GH levels should be, because I don't know. But what I do know, Africans, let me see. Well, you just said cichlids. I'm assuming, because we're so predominantly African cichlids, I'm assuming you're talking about Africans. They like a hard water with a high pH. High pH meaning, 7, 8 and up. Your Tanganyikan fish like it a little higher. You can get it up to 8.2, they'll be fine. And some people will even argue that they like it even higher than that. But what I shoot for when I'm setting up a tank is 7.8 to 8.2. Now, we're very lucky because here in King George County, our city water comes out of the tap at 7.8. So we're kind of fortunate as far as that goes. But they do like a higher pH and a harder water. So that's about as much as I can give you there. Because all you asked for was pH and KH and all that. So, I mean, that's probably going to be my first embarrassing response because I wasn't really prepared for that question. But, hey, you're getting me. This is real. One more. We got 5 in this one. This is cool. Lee Purcell. I think I said it right. What is the earliest I can strip a peacock without having to deal with an egg tumbler? I stripped the last batch at 18 days and 90% survived, but for the health of the female, can I strip earlier? Thanks for taking the time to make those informative videos. It really helps. P.S. Sorry if you answer this in an early video. I obviously missed it. I didn't answer it in another video. I think I've addressed it in other videos, but it's a good question, and it's one that I get a lot. So, why don't you want to mess with an egg tumbler? That's going to be the first question. If you want to strip her early, for the sake of the female, why not build an egg tumbler? It costs like $5 to build one. It's a piece of cake, and that's the best way to do it. But if you absolutely cannot put together an egg tumbler, if you're waiting 18 days, I'd say that that's about right. If not longer than that. I mean, What you want is the fry to be fry with no egg sac, because that egg sac is something that holds them down, and it will kind of restrict them to the bottom of the tank, and they're not really strong enough yet, they're not developed enough yet to swim up. So they just kind of sit on the bottom and rot because that egg sac is weighing them down. So if you really want to strip the female earlier, for the sake of the female, first of all, good for you, because that's what I do, put an egg tumbler together. I mean, they're really, really cheap, and they work really well. I mean, look at my video that I did on how I build ours, and you'll see that they're really simple to build, and you can do it for just a few dollars. And in probably a few more days, I'm going to be doing a video, and I'm going to show you one of the coolest egg tumblers that I've ever seen. I'm not going to get into it on this one, but it's coming soon. It is some manufactured egg tumblers that were sent to me to try out and to review. And so I'm going to be doing that here coming up soon, especially since we got those two red-top Mbunas that are holding big batches of fry in their mouth right now. So I'm going to do a video showing not only the stripping process, but also these new egg tumblers. It's going to be really cool. But if you can't afford those, put together one of those cheap ones. A little plastic tube, couple of end caps, it's nothing. Hook it up to your air pump, and that's absolutely going to be the best way and the most efficient way to do it. So thank you, Lee. I hope that helps you. Yeah, thank you. All right, I think we got 5 questions on that one. That's really cool. I'm getting a little nervous because this list is down to only 31 emails that are left to answer, but they're still coming in. So that's going to do it for this episode. I thank you guys so much for watching. This is a blast. You see this email address right here, right there? That's where you're going to want to send your questions if you want to get your questions answered on this series. How many times have I say it in my videos? I'm having a blast with this. This is fun. It's 8:30 at night. I could be home watching the Caps. They're losing, I think. I could be home watching them, but instead I'm doing this because it's fun. So get your questions in now. I'm going to be doing these as often as I can. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.